What's going on, everybody? Lil Chris here, and in today's video, I'm bringing you the first APA 9-ball match from my last live stream where I was playing up against a skill level 9. The only difference being is that I'm putting the cue ball diagram up above so that way you can see where I'm hitting at on the cue ball when it's my turn. And then you'll also be seeing the live stream chat right over here so that way you have some context whenever you hear me answer people's questions. So sit back and enjoy the match, and I'll see you when it's over. And based on what I'm seeing, I'm going to actually, let's see here. Let's turn this off. And I'm gonna shrink this down a little bit. So hopefully when I actually look at the actual video, it'll actually look okay. This match here is a 9-ball match. Obviously you see 9 balls on the table. My opponent in this matchup is a 9, just like myself. This is also the same Super 7 that I played in 8-ball. I had that video published a while back where we went hill to hill, and then on the last shot he made an amazing shot, but almost knocked in the 8-ball. Like somehow the 8-ball just did not drop, and that's what allowed him to win. And I ended up losing hill to hill on that one. So now we get to battle it out here in 9-ball. I just saw that I just topped out the microphone, so I hope I didn't blow out everybody's ears. Let me turn down the microphone a little bit. So this is going to be a race to 75. For those that are not familiar with APA 9-ball, it's basically a straight pool match, if you will, where every ball is worth a point, and the 9-ball is worth 2 points. So you basically have 10 points per rack that could possibly be won. So whenever the 9-ball is dropped legally, then we will re-rack the balls and then continue to go until someone reaches their score. So hopefully, if you can see in the scoreboard here with my mouse, like I said, it's a race to 75, and this 0 here is what I try to use to indicate the number of dead balls that are going to be on the table. And what a dead ball is when somebody makes a ball and scratches. So that means that point is awarded to nobody. Whenever the 9-ball is legally pocketed earlier or early, all of the balls that remain on the table are also counted as dead balls as well. So when we look at the score, after every rack is basically over, the scores should add up to some sort of increment of 10, whether it's being a combination of my score, my opponent's score, plus the dead balls. Add all of those up, and it'll be some increment of 10. So now we don't have the cue ball diagram. There's a lot of moving pieces that I have to deal with to try to do this live stream here. So I'll end up adding the cue ball diagram like when I clip this out and actually just publish it separately whenever we talk about side spins and whatnot. So this is my opponent that's about to break. They won the coin flip, and this is back when we still had the mask mandate. So I do believe we are wearing masks. We don't have a mask mandate here in Texas anymore, though I have been hearing that they might be coming back, but we'll see. So let's see how this matchup goes. Race to 75. My opponent gets the first break. Well, so that was a quick one. So my opponent automatically gets 2 points, and that means the other 8 balls are considered to be dead balls. And we haven't even done an inning yet. So what's going to happen here, though, is because these are coin-operated tables, and when we're playing League, we have to pay for the balls to come out. But since we're playing 9-ball, we still have 6 unused stripes. So what I had done here is I pretty much just took the 10-ball out and rack that in the middle of the rack. So the 10-ball is going to be the new 9-ball. Let's see. Patrick Green, you're asking me which do I like, 9-ball or 8-ball? I have to say they're equal now. Like I've played so much 8-ball now to where I actually enjoy playing both of them because 8-ball, I'm starting to appreciate it more for the strategic ways that 8-ball can be played rather than just trying to try to just run out and stuff. So I actually like both of them. So let's see here. So my opponent breaks. Looks like he made what? He made 1 on the break. So let me try to give him a point. got a really good spread here. Looks like he's got a shot at the 1 ball to go into the bottom right corner pocket. 2 ball is sitting up at the upper right corner pocket, with the 3 ball being at the upper left corner pocket. So let's see what he's going to do here. It looks like he's got a bit of stun on the cue ball. Is he going to run into the 6? No, he draws underneath it. And you can see, because of the way the cue ball comes off the side rail, he must have had some type of right spin on the cue ball. But then here, all he has to do is just tap this ball in. Doesn't really have to do anything with the cue ball. So he hits it in the center, but by the time the cue ball gets there, it actually starts rolling forward as if he hit it with topspin. So nothing special here. Probably put some topspin on this one to come off the side rail and get position on the 4. Just like that right there. And just tap this ball in. The only thing he probably doesn't want to do is he doesn't want the cue ball to be on the side rail after this, because he wants to have this little angle that he has here, so that way he can pull the cue ball off of the side rail and either be on either side of the 6 ball. But let's see which side he decides to play on. Because I don't think at this angle here he can play the 6 at the bottom right just by drawing it. I think he might go over to the other side. Never mind, he does try to hold it. This is the best part about trying to do this live and really try to remember what actually happened. Because what in the world do you do here? Do you follow this with some left spin and use the short rail to spin over to the other side of the table? That's what he did. And actually, I should be updating the score here. But let's see here. What is he going to do with this 7 ball? Is this going to be 3 rails? 1, 2, 3. And would y'all look at this? Because I'm pretty sure he makes this. 9 ball on the snap. Break and run right after. I haven't even hit a ball yet. Like, how strong is that? And there we go. So yeah, that puts him at, I think, 12. And like I said, I haven't even hit a ball yet. So let's speed this up. Kill some of the dead time of racking. Oh, he scratches on the brake. So finally, I get to come to the table. This will be my first chance at the table, and I have ball in hand. So let's see here. Observing the table, it looks like my worst spot is going to be the 6 to the 7. But right now, let's focus on the first half of the table here. You can see I'm shooting the 1 ball into the bottom right corner pocket, and I just used a bit of bottom left to spin the cue ball off the side rail for position on the 2. 3 and the 4 are just sitting right there at the upper right corner pocket, so there's really nothing special I have to do with the cue ball here. Just roll it on in. Let's see here. Am I straight in, or can I come off the short rail? Nope, I can come off the short rail. And then probably just draw the cue ball back with some bottom spin here for position on the 5. Eric Pool Guy Simpson, you're asking what is the cost per table? Well, per rack, you either pay $1 per rack, or this establishment here also charges like $4 an hour for an individual, or $8 an hour for 2 or more people. So there we saw the 5 ball go into the bottom right corner pocket, and I think I just had a bit of right spin on there to spin it 2 rails to go off the short rail and the side rail. And you can see me, I'm already prepping to see how am I going to get position on that 7 ball. Because all I want to do is just gently knock this 6 in, come behind the 8, so that way I can shoot the 7 into the upper left-hand corner pocket. And then I do believe that what did I try to do here? What am I trying to do here? Okay, drawing it back over to the side rail so that way I can shoot the 8 into the side pocket. Or do I shoot it into the corner? If I shoot it in the side pocket, I have to let the cue ball come down to the head rail and then come back up. So that is what I did. Okay. Almost flirting there with the side pocket there. But with my opponent scratching on the break, I'm at least able to get on the board and score 10 points. Okay, so here we are going to break for 9 ball. Now, y'all know that I pretty much have breaking the 9-ball rack mastered if we're using a template rack, but this is a non-template rack, so what I tend to try to do here is my classic break, where I'm going to do a cut break on the 1-ball to try to get the 1-ball to go into the side pocket, and if anything else happens to fall, anything else happens to fall, as I try to pull the cue ball back towards the middle of the table. Now, I didn't make the 1-ball into the side pocket, but I did drop a ball, so I at least get to still stay at the table. Let's see if I can keep the score better updated. Let's see here. So now here I have a free shot at the 1-ball. Nothing special there. Put some bottom right on it so that way I can come back up table for position on the 2. But I got bad position. I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, I was trying to get position to where I can shoot the 2 in the side pocket, but to the right side pocket, but I overran the position. Now I think I'm going to try to cut it over to what would be the left side of the side pocket. And I'm speaking in if you're always facing from the head rail. So that right there had to have been done with bottom right spin. And the bottom spin helps me pull the cue ball over to the side rail so that way I don't scratch into the corner pocket. And then the right spin spins it all the way around like it did here. Fortunately, I was able to avoid the 8 and the 6, but you can see that I overran position for the 3-ball. So I think if anything here, I'm going to be banking the 3-ball into the cross side pocket. Or at least I'm going to try to bank the 3-ball into the cross side pocket. Or I'm going to play a safe. Never mind. I played safe because I am playing up against the 9. I don't play as aggressive as if I'm playing a lower skill level player. So let's see here. See, I've already lost track of what the score is. Opponent makes a really good hit. Let's see. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points on the table. So I think this is the score. I could be wrong. But now let's see here. We can play the 3-ball into the top left corner pocket with just top spin on the cue ball. I have the cue ball come off the short rail and try to get position on the 4-ball, but I end up overcutting the 3-ball. It was at least a good effort on my part because the cue ball is at the other end of the table, so I don't necessarily leave a free shot for my opponent. And then now that I think about it, how many times have I shot? I don't even know, but I'm going to say that was my third inning. And this is what I mean by there's so many moving parts that I have to try to do in order to keep up with everything. So my opponent goes for the 3-ball, almost makes it, but leaves me set up now. So I get to come back to the table, and I have a free shot at the 3-ball. I had a free shot at it last time, but I should be able to make it this time. Let's see here. It looks like I have a bit of topspin, and yes, so I was trying to spin the cue ball 2 rails. I actually spun it too hard because it wasn't supposed to go between the 4 and the 5 like that. It was actually supposed to come around the 4-ball, so that way I can shoot the 4 into the same corner pocket as I did the 3-ball. So now I've got a really, really thin cut shot on the 4-ball, and I think I am gonna try this one. I don't think I play safe on this one. Nope, never mind. I do play safe. Oh my goodness. So there. I think that should be 4 innings. So we can see here that my opponent's going to try to line up for a 1-rail kick to, at least hit the 4, let alone maybe make it into the top left corner pocket. You can see he's pretty much eyeball measuring how to possibly kick this ball in. Looks like he's sighted in. Let's see what happens. Makes a good hit and avoids the scratch. So I have a long shot on the 4-ball. Not my most favorite thing in the world to do here. And usually when I'm bridged on the rail that close to the cue ball, all I have is just top spin. I don't try to put any side spin on the cue ball, so that way I can try to be in as much control as possible. But it still doesn't matter because I missed. And then that leaves a free shot for my opponent to try to finish the rest of the table off. Let's see here. Is he going to try to stun this for the 5? That is what he tries. Ooh. Clearly, he wanted the cue ball to roll a little bit farther. Looks like he was aiming to see if he can get the 5 ball to go into the upper left corner pocket. And it looks like he's going to try to cut the 5 into the upper right. Oh, what a shot. What a shot. Good position on the 6 ball. As long as he's not straight in, he's probably just going to push the cue ball to the short rail and then come back up for position on the 8. I don't know if he's going to go around the 8 to put it in the same pocket or possibly put it in the opposite pocket. It tries to come around to put it in the same pocket, just a little short. What does everybody do here? Do they try to cut it? Do they try to bank it? Oh, let's see. What's the score? 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I think I have that right. There's 3 points left on the table. What's he going to do? Oh, it looks like he's going to cut it. How is he going to hold position for the 9? He's not. So I would have to think that he probably wanted the cue ball to hit before the side pocket. I think that might have been enough for the cue ball to kind of just zigzag its way up for position on the 9. Now, this is actually an interesting shot. I'm actually going to pause it right here because I want to talk a little bit about this. In the past, before I had gone to Demetrius's boot camp in Minnesota, the way that I would normally play this would be to take ball in hand and come down to about, actually, let's do this. We're going to just do some on-the-fly stuff here. There's the editor, my drawing editor. Hopefully this works. Normally what I would end up trying to do is to place the cue ball right about here, and then with bottom right spin, basically just shoot the 8 ball in like this, and then just draw the cue ball here, and let the right spin carry the cue ball back up here to shoot the 9 like this. That was before I went to Demetrius's boot camp. Or what I might have tried to do is have it here and just use top left spin and try to play the cue ball like this. Those were like the 2 original ways that I would end up trying to shoot this shot. But now, after attending Demetrius's boot camp, I do something a little different. Because I'm still going to shoot this in, obviously, right? But now I'm going to be using bottom left spin on the cue ball to purposely spin the cue ball this way. Why? Because the moment I hit this rail, I'm guaranteed position on the shot. Whereas on all of the other ones, I have to make sure that I hit the ball. Clearly on this one, I have to make sure that I hit the ball hard enough. But there's almost like no way for me to not get position unless I just hit it way, way too hard. And y'all know that I don't do that. I'm pretty much a very finesse player. So trying to do my original 2 shots, they're reasonable shots to take. But doing something like this, now that I've learned, has a much higher percentage of being successful. So watch how I shoot this shot. And see, as I'm coming up this way, the moment I hit that rail, I'm guaranteed position. Now, clearly, I want it to go a little bit higher, but I don't want to flirt with the corner pocket. So I just make sure that I hit it in such a way to where I know, or at least I have an idea, that I'm going to be hitting the side rail and avoid scratching. All right, so let's see here. That is, what, 3, 7. I think that's the right score. So I hope that explanation makes sense. It's not like there's anything wrong with the 2 other ways that I would have originally played it, but now I'm a little bit more familiar at allowing my cue ball to come off multiple rails and have a good understanding of like where the cue ball is going to end up. And so playing that three railer is just safer in my opinion, and almost guaranteed to get position. And it allows me to let my stroke out a bit because every time the cue ball hits the rail, speed is taken off of the cue ball. Whereas if I'm going to try to use just one rail, then I have to just make sure that I choose the appropriate speed and that it's not too soft, that it's not too hard. Whereas in going the 3 rail route, the only thing I have to make sure is that it's just not too hard. So here we are with the next rack. And it looks like I scratched. Hey, Jackson Miller, how's it going, man? Am I being just a little too loud for you? Maybe try turning down your volume or something. Well, obviously, you care enough to be in here, so enjoy yourself. So now, this is the spot that I don't want to be in, right? Obviously, the open table. My opponent's got ball in hand, so let's see how he decides to try to pick apart this rack. And see, it looks like he's going to play the one ball into the bottom right corner pocket. Automatic position for the two ball in the upper left. You can see the three ball looks like it's over on the left side rail over by the eight ball, so I'm more than willing to bet that the three ball will be going into the lower left corner pocket. He's probably just going to roll this in, not really do anything with the cue ball, just like that. That was, what, 3 points? Four ball is sitting over by the upper right corner pocket, so probably just play a stop shot here on the three ball. And probably just do the same thing again. The only thing I would want to bet is that he wants to make sure that the cue ball will be above the five ball so that when he shoots it into the side pocket, the cue ball will just naturally come down for position on the six. Yeah, so like this is perfect. So he can just shoot this five ball in, and the cue ball will just naturally roll down towards the head rail and get position on the six. Just like that. There we go for the six. Seven's going to be going into the upper right. I think I might be missing a point. Travis King, my skill level is that I'm a 7 in 8 ball and I'm a 9 in 9 ball. Hence, if you see at the bottom portion of the scoreboard, this is a race to 75 for both of us because my opponent's also a 9. And look at that. Just like when my opponent scratches on his break, I punish him by running the table. I scratch on the break, and he punishes me by running the table. And there we go. I'm down 17 to 25. I hope I have the scoreboard right. Okay, 3 ball down on the break. 9 ball sitting very close to the corner pocket. And my opponent has a shot on the 1 ball. Roopster760, how's it going? Thanks for being here. Monique Greer, it's good to see you. All right, so let's see here. Looks like my opponent's drawing off of the 1 ball. What a shot. Look at the position he gets on the 2. No effort needed on the 2 ball. You got the 4 ball sitting right there. You can just squeeze it right past the 9 ball. Easy position going from the 4 to the 5. Really no effort on the cue ball there. Now the question is going to be, is he just going to slow roll this so that way he puts the cue ball on the other side? Looks like he does. And as long as he's underneath the 6 ball, he can just either stun or draw over to get in between the 7 and the 9, which is pretty much what he does. And if I'm not mistaken, this is another break and run. Yeah. Whew. Oh my goodness. How do you like that, folks? 17 to 35. I don't even know what rack this is. Let's see. So the scores add up to what? 60? So this is rack 7? As you can see, I'm struggling at the beginning part of this match. Wing ball down. Cue ball and 1 ball are at least separated. 8 ball's sitting right next to the corner pocket, so I'd be curious if he's going to try to either cut the 1 into the 8 or carom, or I should say billiard, actually. Billiard the off of the 1 and knock in the 8. Let's see what's going to happen here. Oh, what a shot. Where's the 1 ball going to end up? Ooh, can he see it? Actually, I think he should have 2 points because he made a ball on the break. Doesn't look like he's seeing. Looks like he's going to try to masse around the 5 ball. He at least gets a hit. All right, but finally, I at least get to come back to the table. All right, so let's see here. It looks like I probably have some bottom left on this as I try to draw the cue ball back towards the center of the table for position on the 2 to go into the upper right corner pocket. And it looks like I got it. I just wish the cue ball would have rolled a little bit farther so that way I don't have to bridge over the 5. And that's why I don't want to bridge over the 5. Ah, the struggles. So let's see here. From here, it looks like my opponent can probably try to draw off of the 2 ball and pull the cue ball, keep the cue ball above the side pocket. I don't know if he's going to go underneath the 3 or not. Okay, so he does try to go underneath the 3, and he's successful. That's a good shot. But then here, I think this is what I like to call a punch shot because he's going to have a fairly full hit on the 3 ball. So in order to get the cue ball to go off the side rail and come back over for position on the 4, he's going to have to hit this pretty hard, like that. And he draws it actually. So that was done with bottom right spin. And let's see here. Probably just does nothing special with the cue ball. A little bit of left spin. Oh, he actually tried to move the cue ball. He wanted to get underneath the 5 ball. Now, I think he gets a little fortunate here because it doesn't look like I can do anything with the 4 ball. That 5 ball blocking me. Let's see, what do I try to do here? I think if I remember correctly, I tried to combo this ball, the 4 into the 5. As time has gone by, I've gotten more and more confident in doing combos, especially even when the balls are like separated from one another, or on a shot like this, where the ball the intended ball that I'm trying to go for is further away from a pocket. And see, we got near Shironi. I should try snookering him. Like, how would I do that? Because I don't think I can move the 4 anywhere around the 5 without turning the cue ball loose. Maybe I could try to put the cue ball behind the 9 ball if I cut the right side of the 4 ball. But I'm pretty sure I got draw on the cue ball. I think I try a combo here. And that's what I did try to do. So, let's see here. The question is going to be is do you bank the 4 ball into the side pocket or do you play the 4-5 combination? You play the 4-5 combination that caused you to bring the cue ball down towards the head rail. And you can see that's why he's elevated on the cue ball because he doesn't want the cue ball to scratch. And I'm pretty sure that's what he was trying to do. I think he was either trying to play the combo. I'm not sure if he was trying to bank it. But now I've got my free shot on the 4 ball here, so all I'm going to do is just play a stop shot. So I just put some bottom spin on the cue ball here. 5 ball's just sitting pretty for me there in the side pocket. And then I think all I do is just cheat the pocket here and have the cue ball come off of the rail. So that way I can have my angle. And this looks like I have bottom right spin. Am I going to try to zigzag this back? I do try to zigzag it back, but I end up missing the shot. Oh, dear Lord. Free shot from my opponent. This is probably going to be the same thing where you're going to see the cue ball go 3 rails to get position on the 9. If there's enough room for him to cheat the pocket. Oh, looks like he put too much topspin. Does he scratch? Oh, he just barely avoids the scratch. So you can see from where my opponent's standing, it looks like he's going to try to cut the 9 ball into the upper left corner pocket, which is pretty much what I would try to do. He's got to make sure that the cue ball doesn't scratch in the bottom right corner pocket. And he scratches. So when you scratch on the 9 ball is the only ball that doesn't count as a dead ball. So what ends up happening is that the new 9 ball, because we're not going to pay $1 just to get the 9 ball out, so we would use one of the unused stripes, would come back out, and I have ball in hand on it. But you can see here we're pretty much racking for the next rack, so my opponent actually gave me those 2 points. So I am down by 18 points, so I definitely need to try to put something together here. And I get a 9 ball break. And I drop another ball. So there's that. So I dropped 3 balls, so that's 7 dead balls. So now we have a total of 15 dead balls. Cue ball control sometimes, like, we're going to see how this works to where, like, yeah, that's definitely facts to where, like, this is going to save me a ton of time on editing. So because I made 3 balls on the break here, you can see that there's going to be 2 stripes added to this rack. You can see we have the 13 ball and the 14 ball. This is what's called a dirty rack. Still have to shoot the balls in numerical order, and the 14 ball is now the new 9 ball. So it looks like I broke dry on that one, so I think that puts me up to 10 innings. And my opponent starts off with a safety. Now, I remember this because I was glancing at this video while I was setting everything up, and I recall that I was trying to just 2-rail hit this. And not only did I 2-rail hit it, I ended up getting a little lucky at making the 8 ball. So now here, I think I cut this into the bottom right corner pocket, and with some top left spin, I try to come around. I think that's the 13 ball to try to get position on the 3. I just got to make sure I don't get hooked behind the 14 ball. And I get a little friendly bump off that 13 ball, and now I have position on the 3. And I think here I think I tried to use some left spin to try to keep the cue ball above the 14 and basically bring the cue ball back towards me so I can have position on the 4. But it looks like I have bottom spin on the cue ball now. What am I doing? Oh, I tried to hold it. So that means I had to have that was bottom left spin. You know, the cue ball is naturally going off to the right, so I don't want it to take off once it hits that side rail. So that's why I had left spin on the cue ball, so I can kill the outbound angle of the cue ball off of that side rail, and that would have given me position on the 4, but I needed to make the ball. So opponent makes the 3 ball, has position on the 4, and you can see the angle. Look at the angle of the 4 ball. He could shoot this in, but the cue ball is naturally tracking its way away from the 5 ball. So he doesn't want to get hooked by the 6, let alone the 14. So he's probably going to try to move this cue ball just like that. It looks like he stunned it right underneath the 13 ball. Did he hit it too hard? Just avoid the scratch. That was a really good shot. Now here, when you look at this, if you try to cut this into the upper right corner pocket, you can see that the cue ball is automatically coming to the right. So he's probably going to get positioned for the 6 to go either into the side pocket, or he comes this far down. Now he's set up for the upper left corner pocket, but he misses the 5. Actually, I think I need to give my opponent a point. So here, you can see I pretty much just goofed on that one. That one there was for me to stay on my right side of the 14 ball so that I can shoot the 6 ball to go into the side pocket. But I didn't have enough spin, nor did I hit it hard enough. So I have to end up doing a kick shot. So here I'm using one of the measuring systems that I know for measuring out a 1-rail kick shot. I've demonstrated 2 different ways to measure out kicks on my YouTube channel. I have 2 separate videos for that. So I'm going to try to kick this 6 ball into the side pocket. And I was almost successful. But I get lucky again. Oh man. This is where you can't say, "Oh, this is APA." No, this is nine ball, right? This is what happens in nine ball. You know, you don't have to call your shot, so sometimes luck prevails. You can see there, I'm having terrible control of the cue ball. Cue ball is supposed to be right here once it comes off the short rail, but it doesn't even make it. So let's see here. Gonna try to one rail kick the seven ball, but I don't get lucky on that one. I at least get fortunate that the cue ball is sitting on the rail, but seven ball is sitting right next to the side pocket. My opponent can easily cut that in. All he has to make sure is that he does avoid the scratch. If he cuts it too thin, it just rolls right into the pocket. That's a good shot. And this looks like he should be cutting this to the side pocket. Yeah, that's what he's looking at. Oh, but he undercuts the ball. That leaves me a window of opportunity. 2 more free points, just like on the last rack. Oh, I hope I have the score right. Yeah, Patrick Green, that's pretty much what we do too. Whenever like a super lucky shot comes out of nowhere, like everybody will be like, APA! Like I said, at least in nine ball, that's not really a valid statement, right? Lucky shots happen in nine ball. It's just that when you get those lucky shots in eight ball, like you don't make your intended ball, but you just happen to drop another ball that belongs to you, so you can still continue to shoot. That's when we really shout APA. Okay, looks like I made the seven ball in the break. Am I gonna have a shot at the one ball? Doesn't look like it. So now I'm only 10 points behind, still trailing a bit. I'm just trying to climb my way back. So I do believe I try to cut this ball in. Y'all should know that I am not afraid to cut a ball. I think all I have is just a bit of right spin, so I can just keep the cue ball right there. Look how I just cut that ball in. And then, I get hooked behind the five ball. All risk and no reward. Other than I do at least get a point. So here we go. I'm going to try to do the same measuring system. So the biggest thing that you have to remember is that regardless of if you use systems or not, like the most important part of doing a kick or a bank, not only is obviously the angle that you're going to send the ball into the rail. That's obviously important part number one. Important part number two, though, is choosing the correct speed. So if you choose the right point but don't choose the correct speed, you're still more than likely going to miss. They all have to be in sync. And as you can see right there, I'm pretty sure the speed was correct, but the spot that I measured out was incorrect. So all I had to do there was just aim a little bit further to the right, and I would have just kicked that two ball in. So now with cue ball in hand, my opponent doesn't have to do anything special to make the two ball. Gets automatic position for the three. Looks like he's going to have the cue ball go over to the side rail, and with some left spin the cue ball back towards the middle of the table. Pretty much right back at him. Doesn't want to get hooked by the five, though. Oh, that's a good shot. Almost ended badly. Okay, nice little draw shot there. Doesn't look like he has to do anything special here. Just draw it back for the six to go into the side pocket. That looked like a bit of a stun shot there. Still should be able to just make the six. I think the cue ball's got to move a bit, or is he just going to tap this in? Okay, it was a thick enough hit to where you can just tap it in. But you can see, like, you saw that he doesn't like the position because now I think he's either going to try to hold the cue ball or he's going to turn it loose. What do y'all do here, folks? Do you try to hold the cue ball by finessing the 8 ball into that corner pocket and trying to keep position on the 8 or keep position on the 9? Or do you flare the cue ball and come back around for position on the 9? He's trying to hold it, and he does it. Let's see. Okay, that looks right. Golly, how many points am I down? Right, 17 points. My goodness. Okay, dry break, and I've got a free shot at the one ball. That's what I'm talking about. So it looks like I can just draw back with some bottom spin for the position on the 2 to go into the left side pocket. I had a bit of an angle to where I can use the side rail. 3 ball is sitting right here, so all I really have to do is just make it. You can see the cue ball will just naturally come its way over here. Why do I have draw on this? Okay, so I was just delaying when I was going to hit the side rail. I hit it too hard. And I don't think the draw was necessary. I must have just goofed on that one. Left-handed shot. I think this is a safety though. I don't think I tried to. I think I tried to just separate the 3 and the cube. No, I do go for it. Oh, and I made it. Like I said, trying to remember what happened here, and then of course again, no reward as I don't get position on the 4 ball. Here we go, kick number 3. So far I've only made 1 kick shot, and that was because I got lucky. I kicked the ball, and the ball came back and kicked the cue ball and knocked another ball in. See how many points are on the table. There's 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so I think the score is right. So good hit on the 4 ball. I just don't want to sell it out, but it looks like I did. So it looks like the 5 ball does pass by the 7 to go into the upper right corner pocket. And I can't tell what kind of angle my opponent might have here, so I'm just curious if he's just going to stop the cue ball. Okay, he does play a stop shot. And as long as that 5 passes by, all he has to do is just make the ball. The cue ball is going to get natural position on the 6 ball. He doesn't really have to do anything. Good shot there. It looks like he might have put a touch of left spin on it. Probably put some bottom left on this one here. Just like that. What do you do here? You get position for the side pocket. You got to get underneath it, though. And he does. Looks like he didn't put enough side spin on the cue ball. That would have been left spin, but he should still have a shot at this. Yeah, nicely done. Oh, holy cow. What is that? 21 points? Now, the easiest thing that happens in situations like this is like what do you do with yourself when you're down like this? Like it's real easy to get discouraged when you're down like this, right? Like I think everybody can agree with that. It's almost like, well, you kind of just give up and just kind of willy-nilly play the rest of the set out until the set is over. Well, I don't do that here. I try to stick my way, I try to remain calm, stick my way through it, play every rack out until it's over. Interesting shot there by my opponent. X Paradox, both me and my opponent are skill level 9, so if you look at the scoreboard here, this is the race that we're going to. It's a race to 75. So the score is currently my 37 to his 60. With me having 15 dead balls, which are points that aren't awarded to either player. So you can see here, like, look how far behind I am. Like like, admit it in the chat. Like, who would be discouraged at this point to where you're just waiting for the match to be over, right? Even if you came to the table, you probably would just willy-nilly shoot the balls so that way your opponent can get the rest of their points so that way they can finish the set. Looks like maybe a little masse around the 9 ball here. Oh, he doesn't get a hit. Now, I'm going to stop this here because if y'all have seen, I think it was one of my last APA 9-ball matches, I talked about what's going to happen here. So let me just wait until we get to it here. You can see, I look to see if I can shoot the 3-ball into the corner pocket, and I can't. The 4-ball actually blocks it. And so right about here is where I'm going to stop it, as soon as I get down to shoot. So, as you can see there, I'm pretty much lining up a combo to knock the 9 in. So what ends up happening is I'll score 2 points if I make the combo, but the 4 points that are remaining on the table end up being lost. They end up being dead balls. So in my last APA 9-ball match that I did publish, I pretty much talked about how when I have opportunities, I try to avoid comboing in the 9-ball because I'm going to get 2 points, but I'm also going to lose 4 points. But in this particular scenario, because I always like to say there's always an exception to things that I try to advise people. Like I can give you some advice and then you can always think of like some exception, right? In this case here, the exception is how far down I am. I need the momentum to shift. So taking this rack away and giving me the break does that. At least when I'm breaking at the table, I'm in control of the table. Now I can immediately lose control of the table if I break dry, but at least the momentum is shifted back into my favor to hopefully where I can hold it. So that's why I end up trying to do this combination here instead of trying to figure out how can I get the 6 remaining points that are on the table. All right, so I get the 2, and then there's 4 dead balls on the table. So now we have, I think it's 19. So the score is now 39 to 62. My opponent needs 13 more balls, and I need what? 36? Whew. Question is do I do it? So you can see we got another dirty rack here. We had 4 balls remaining from the last rack, so we just pull out some other stripes here. That looked like a pretty sweet break for me. Let's see, 3, 6, 7. Looks like I made 2 balls on the break. Got a nice shot at the 4-ball here. I'm sorry, the 3-ball, while the 4-ball is sitting right next to me. So I think all I do is just put topspin on this cue ball. I don't think I try to do anything fancy with it. But I end up missing. Oh, my dear Lord. This almost looks like the way I was playing on Backyard Billiards live stream when I was playing 10-ball. Whew. Yeah, X-Bron first. It's just a 3 break and run, and that changes everything. I'm pretty sure I could do something like that. So good shot by my opponent there. I can't really tell if the 6-ball can go behind. I believe that's the 12-ball. So I don't know if he's going to try to shoot this into the upper right corner pocket instead. What's he going to do? He does try to cut it, and he ends up overcutting it. So now at least I get back to the table because I figured after missing that 3-ball, like I figured the rack is over and like the match is pretty much almost over. But I'm at least back at the table here. I got a shot at the 6, and let's see, is that the 10-ball at the middle of the table? I think that would be the next ball. So do I just allow the cue ball to roll to the side rail? I do, and I avoid the scratch. I'm pretty sure I had some, I think that must have been some left spin on the cue ball. Now here, I think I try to cut the 10-ball into the side pocket because that allows the cue ball to come over to the short rail, and I have to get it back up towards the foot rail to get position on the 12. Pretty much like that. I think that was That had to have been with some right spin, so that way I make sure that I don't scratch in the upper right corner pocket. So this shot here will be with some right spin also. Oh, never mind. That was left spin. That was not right spin. See, the times where I'm thinking like the old ways that I would have played shots, and now the newer ways that I play shots where I try to utilize my rails because it kind of almost guarantees me position. Okay, nothing but left, a little bit of top left on there, playing a 2-rail position to get position on the last ball, the new 9 ball to go into the upper right corner pocket. All right, so that looks correct. What are we sitting at? That is a, jeez, I'm I'm down 17 points. All right, here we go. Okay, smooth break. I got the 1 to go in the side pocket. I just saw the 5 drop. This is hilarious. I remember what happens here because to me, this is an automatic safety. I'm just going to bank the 2 ball around and hide the cue ball behind the 6. Watch what happens. Come on. Is that not a good safety? Until the 2 ball fell? I at least get the point. Oh, man. Golly, that was brutal. Oh, tell me about it. That is just brutal. So, another kick shot. Let's see. Do I at least hit the ball? Please tell me I at least hit the ball. Yes, I at least hit the ball. Do I get lucky? I do. I don't think I left a shot for my opponent. Let's see here. Does he billiard the 6 in maybe? Oh, what a shot. He's only 10 points away. I'm 25 points away. Let's see here. It looks like the 3 ball can go into the bottom right corner pocket. Hopefully he can avoid the scratch there. Oh, he doesn't avoid the scratch and he misses. So, ball in hand, open table. I should be able to handle this. I would think. I would hope. All right, so let's see here. You can see the 4 balls pretty much sitting underneath me, right? So there's really nothing I have to do with this cue ball here. I can just stop the cue ball, make sure I have a cut angle on the 4 ball so I can use the side rail, or did I just make myself straight in so that way I can stop the cue ball and play the 4 in the side pocket? Is this going to be a stop shot? A stun shot. Same thing. So the 7 ball should be going into the side pocket. You can see with the cut angle that I have here, I can just stun the cue ball. So this would be just slightly below center. So that way the cue ball just kind of just drifts up towards the 8 ball. And I want to stay underneath the 8 ball as well, so I can just push the cue ball forward and have position for the 9 to go in the other corner pocket. And you can see that time there, I didn't come far enough. So what do I do here? Do I try to just draw to the short side? It looks like I have some draw on it. Yeah, I tried to draw to the short side, but I end up running into the 9 ball. So here I just try to play a safety by thin cutting the 9 ball and then trying to get the cue ball to come to the other end of the table, so that way my opponent's forced to bank. So I really, really just want to just graze this 9 ball and send the cue ball down towards the other end of the table. So I do have some right spin on this cue ball. You see, I definitely wanted the 9 or the cue ball to be all the way down there and not halfway down. Because this is clearly a bankable shot. I mean, this is a shot that I would definitely go for. I'm pretty sure my opponent goes for it. What a shot. Let's see. I am missing points. I'm missing 2 points. Do they go to me or do they go to my opponent? Is anybody keeping track? Maybe I didn't. I don't think I counted my 2 points. Can anybody confirm that? So now I have to stop him from getting 8 points at the very least, unless I've got his score wrong. But a dry break with a shot on the one ball for me, that helps. So let's see here. I think I'm going to go ahead and say that those points are mine since I had ball in hand and just messed up the run out there. So there, I tried to draw underneath the two ball so that way I can shoot the two ball into the same pocket. And I think now I'm in aggressive mode because I think I try to bank this. I got a couple of balls there to help me out. Yeah, and the 5 ball ends up helping me out. Either the 3 or the 5 helps make the pocket bigger because if I run into one of them, it basically helps guide the ball in. There, you're just seeing me trying to guesstimate how I can try to stun off of the 3 ball and hopefully not run into the 5 so that way I can get position on the 4. But I end up running into them anyway. So they're at least broken apart, but I think here now I at least have to play a defensive shot. I say my opponent only needs 8 more points if I do have the score correct. So there's my attempt at a safety. You can see I'm trying to hide the cue ball behind the 9, but I don't get it. So it looks like he's got a free shot at it. Question is going to be is where does he want to play the 5 ball? Looks like he's got a center ball hit. 4 ball goes down. 5 ball will be going into the side pocket as he inches closer and closer to his goal. So it looks like he's got some right spin. Are we going to see a 3-railer? Pretty much. Did he hit it hard enough, though? Might have to bridge over the 7, so I'm pretty sure he wanted the cue ball to drift a little bit further and probably shoot the 6 in the upper left corner pocket. This is like a 50-yard line shot. Which pocket do you try to cut this into? He tries to go for the upper left. Does he at least leave me a shot? I think I can see it. Otherwise, I've got another safety that I can play so long as I don't 3-rail bank it into the side pocket. But if I remember correctly, I think I can see it. What do I do with the cue ball, though? Okay, so that was inside spin. So in that case, that was right spin for me to spin the cue ball 3 rails around to try to get position on the 7. So clearly I did not want to run into the 8 ball. Where do I try to cut this? There's no point in trying to play safe at this point. Let's see here. All right, so flaring the cue ball around. And the 8 ball hopefully should pass by the 9 ball. I think all I try to do is oh, I got a lot of draw on that. What am I doing? Am I gonna try to draw it underneath the side pocket? Oh, that's what I did. Oh, and I barely made it. Just wipes its feet on the way in. Whew. And look at that, folks. If as long as I got the score correct, I've now only 5 points behind. Remember how far behind I was earlier? right, ball down. Do I have a shot at the one? It looks like I do. Looks like the one should be going into the bottom right corner pocket. I can't tell if the angle allows me to go to the side rail and back out for position on the two, or if it's a stop shot. Okay, so I just try to gently roll it in, but I don't make it. So fortunately, the four ball blocks the path to the one ball. Right, so you can see he's got a one rail kick this one ball in, and he scratches. Right, so that's a dead point. Nobody gets that point. So now we've got a total of 18 dead balls for this rack. But now I've got ball in hand with an open table. This is just the moment that I was looking for. So here I'm looking at playing the two ball. Looks like I'm going to play it into the side pocket. Does that mean I just stop the cue ball to play the three in the corner? Or no, what am I doing? Now I'm changing my mind. So I play the two in this corner. I have to just be rolling the cue ball up. Might have a little bit of topspin on the cue ball. Roll the cue ball up, play the three into the bottom left corner pocket. Looks like I can probably just do a stop shot for position on the four. Just like that. Now here, I'll probably play this with a little bit of bottom left. Bring the cue ball back towards the middle of the table for position on the five in the side pocket. Oh, a straight draw shot. Never mind. I don't think I drew it back far enough. So I think I think I'm forced to allow my cue ball to run into the six. Oh, never mind. It was straight in. Never mind. What do I do here? Do I cheat the pocket and stun the cue ball out to the middle of the table? That's pretty much what I do, and I have now taken the lead. And it looks like he gives me that rack. Whew! 73-69 with 18 dead balls. I need two more. Or do I have the score right? Eventually, I'm going to have to ask y'all to help me keep track of this stuff, because y'all know how terrible I am at keeping scoreboards. That's why doing this stuff in post-production is just easier. Make the one ball. Now this, I have to stop here, because I remember this. Y'all see where the two ball's at, right? Now you can see like my hands kind of like this, because I'm getting down to look through what I'm gonna call the gauntlet, right? The four ball and the six ball and the three ball. Y'all know, have y'all ever got down on a shot, and depending upon how you focus on your shot, because you know how like normally like if you look at your hands you can see 10 fingers until you actually focus hard enough to where you can just see your 5 fingers. That's what I basically see when I'm trying to look through the 4, 6, and the 3 just to be able to see the two ball. Because to me, it looks like the cue ball is going to graze one of those balls. I hope I'm explaining this correctly so y'all can understand like what am I actually seeing? Because I don't know how to, like, if I would have taken the time to maybe draw up a special effect that I would have popped up, but it just literally looks like I might either graze the 4, I might graze the 6, or I might graze the 3, or I just might not even make the 2 when I actually shoot this shot. But I do ahead and go. I go ahead and go for it because I just start focusing in so hard to where I don't see a double cue ball. I see a single cue ball, and I make the ball. Now, I guess I must have the score wrong because I would have thought the game should be over, but I don't think it is. Because now I have position on the 3 to go into the side pocket. And then easy position on the 4. So I definitely must have screwed up the score here. because that ball right there, that was the winning shot right there. Because you can see I'm looking at my teammates to see like, oh, somehow I managed to come back. So I'm not entirely sure if the score was 75 to 69. So maybe I gave my opponent points that I shouldn't have. I don't exactly remember. But I did manage to come back. And how far down was I before? I think I was down like, what, 30 some odd points? Which is the main point that I'm trying to say about how not to give up. And that'll do it for today's video. Now, I did go back and check the final results of the match on the APA website, and I did have the final score correct where I won 75 to 69. I just wasn't tracking it correctly during the live stream. Now, I hope everybody was able to at least learn the point of this video, and that is regardless of how far behind you are and who your opponent is, just don't give up. I think the worst of it that I had was being down about 25 points. I stuck with it all the way to the end. And if you do the same, you might actually surprise yourself and pull off the victory like I did. So I hope everybody was able to enjoy and learn from this match. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and be sure to click the bell notification icon to be notified whenever I go live or publish a new video. And before I forget, go check out my review that I did of the J-Flowers cue that I'm actually going to pin up right over here, because I'm still waiting for that video to reach over 30,000 views so that way I can give the cue that I reviewed in that video away to one of my lucky subscribers. Take care, everybody.